Good afternoon, Miss Charles. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Miss Green. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thank you for coming to see me today. Um, Before we begin the video, I just want to let you know that this video is only for the purpose of classes and it's not real. Okay. And we'll just go ahead and get started. Okay. So today I would like to discuss with you and explore a little bit with you about a goal, a specific goal that you have that you kind of want to talk about. It could be any type of goal, life goal, work goal, relationship goal, any type of goal.
Goals. Um, I will say I'm still teetering with the possibility of going to law school.
Law school. That's an amazing venture that sorry, just pause this real quick.
Yeah, good time to volume.
Okay. Law school. Okay, so tell me about your experiences with wanting to go. What started your passion to seek out law school?
Well, ever since I was younger, coming up, I just always wanted to be a lawyer. It was something about I always knew that I wanted to work in a field with like criminal justice and law and defending people and stuff like that. So I just always pictured myself as like being an attorney. Like I had this aspiration that when I graduated high school, I was gonna go to Grambling, and then I was gonna come back and be an attorney. And that was like in my mind back then as a kid. That was the goal. Um, but yeah, it's just something that kind of resonated with me. Growing up, I even had where me and one of my other friends, we were going to start our own law firm together. We were talking about this in high school. It was gonna be D&D Law, DeAndrea and Demetria. That's her name.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so D&D Law Firm and Associates. So we just talked about always becoming lawyers.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just ultimately, what would becoming a lawyer do for you, and for your existence, and for meaning and purpose in life?
It'll mean an obstacle that I've finally been able to conquer. It'll be because it's hard right now for me, but it'll also be me finally achieving a goal that I set for myself. It'll be me living out my childhood dream.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And explain a little bit to me about where you are in your process of going to law school, or like just in school in general. Like, where are you at right now?
I'm in limbo. In all honesty, I'm just kind of stuck right now. I have been having issues with the LSAT, which is the law school standardized test that you have to take and make a certain score just for entry into law school. Each law school has their own score range of what they will accept, and so the LSAT is, like, from what I'm hearing, one of the most difficult tests to take. And I've just had some bad experiences with it, and so I'm kind of like just feeling a little defeated. I've done things like got my letters of recommendation. I've been networking with people, reaching out to different people, but like right now I'm just kind of like in a place of let me just be still, because so much has happened with me on my journey of trying to pursue law school. So like right now I'm just sitting. Yeah.
Okay, so right now you're kind of like just in the more of the meditating phase about what to do next.
Right.
So explain some of the limitations that you might, see or as obstacles of you passing the LSAT exam, or any other obstacles in the continuation of that journey.
So the test is the test before COVID, because a lot of changes happened. They made some modifications to the test during COVID, but pre-COVID, the test was I want to say 5 sections, 3-hour test, and it was timed. And the information or the curriculum and basically what the test is testing on is analytics, like how can you infer this from that, and so that kind of just gives them an idea of how you can, how would you be able to maneuver in law school. And then they also sometimes correlate the LSAT with the bar exam. So like if you do pretty well on the bar exam and you do well on the LSAT and you do pretty well in law school, then you should be able to pass the bar within a decent amount of time or whatever. And so the test is just extremely hard. And initially, you get 5 attempts to take the test. The test is timed, like I said, and so I don't do well under time. So it's like I know the information, but you're running against the clock. So not only trying to comprehend the curriculum of the test, but also trying to figure out how to take the test, because it's a strategy behind it. And so I feel like if I had the strategy down along with the curriculum, and be good in regards to racing the clock, that I would be okay. But I'm just not there. I have done everything from the first time I was trying to go, the first time to take the test, I actually went through a program through Kaplan, and they had it to where you would have a adjunct tutor that would actually come, and you would have in-person sessions with this person. And so the first day of class, I went there and found out there was no adjunct because there were not enough people that enrolled in the class to be able to actually formulate a class. So I had no kind of notification of that at all. Mind you, I spent like $1,300 on this class. I was really devastated. And then so I contacted the people, the Kaplan, and so basically they gave me the option to roll over into a 4-week session of like tutorials and studying. And I did that, but it was extremely hard for me. That's like 4 hours a day of work, of school, on top of everything else. And you're trying to get all of this stuff of learning the LSAT in 1 month's time, when in actuality, good study time is anywhere from 6 months to a year before taking the test.
Oh, wow.
So, it was quite overwhelming. And then on top of that, my parents that's when they first got ill. And so I was dealing with a lot during that time as well. So it just wasn't the best. I was not in a good spot in the first place. Like I was definitely not in a good spot.
Okay.
So yeah, that was the first time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I hear you saying is that you did attempt to take the test and it didn't go in your favor. However, you do realize that there is a strategy and it is able to be accomplished and you could possibly do it, right? So where are you at right now as far as the next step? I know you're saying you're in the middle, like kind of trying to figure out what you want to do, but where are you at as far as how do you feel about moving forward with attaining your lawyer degree?
I feel afraid. I feel that I might be coming to the realization that it may not happen for me. Which is kind of heartbreaking, but at the same time, sometimes you gotta just face reality. And so I'm at the place of trying to just make sure that it's not me being defeated and giving up and throwing the towel in, versus God is saying, hey, this is, I won't let you go through this because I don't have this in store for you. I have something else. And so that's why I said I'm still right now, because I'm just trying to discern it. Is it me just won't, like I said, throw the towel in? Because I can't lie, I'm discouraged right now because I've taken the test 3 times.
Oh, wow. And
again, you only have 5 opportunities to take it. Once you take it, those 5 opportunities, another 10 years have to go by before you even apply or try to retake the test again. So I just feel like a lot of things are stacked against me right now because the test is very hard for me. I've even even with that issue with the Kaplan, like the second time around, I got a tutor. I had a private tutor, and he was awesome. But again, my school, it was during COVID, and during COVID, they were administering the test through a proctor. It's an actual proctor site called Proctor U. And I had gotten an electronic device from LSAT. They sent me a tablet to take the test on because everything was going to be electronic, and I didn't want any type of issues to happen. And basically, during my test, while I was testing, when I got to like they modified the test, and so from 5 sections they went to 3, from 5 sections they went to 3 sections, and from 3 hours they went to 2 hours. And so during the second portion of the test, I had 6 minutes and 18 seconds left, and the computer, the site crashed, and so the proctor could not see me anymore. I remember taking the test at like 7 a.m. and the test was only supposed to take like roughly, like I said, 2 hours, 2.5 hours at most. I had a lot of issues that happened, and so that was like devastating to me because it wasn't nothing on my end, it was like on their end. Like they're the ones who provided me the device. My internet connection was strong, it never went out. But the proctors had problems. They couldn't see me. So, during the proctor test, like I have to be recorded, just things around. And if they can't see me, then they couldn't continue with the test. And so it was just like a lot. I went through 8 hours of technical support, going back and forth, things of that nature. And so basically, long story short, I had to, my test score was canceled. And my issue with that was that I felt like the second attempt should have just been eradicated altogether, because what happened in regards to taking the test digitally, that was not on me, that was on them. But their defense was I was exposed to the questions of the test, and so because I was exposed to it, they had to count it. Now the cancellation wouldn't count against me, but again, that takes one of my opportunities to possibly take it again. So now I've taken the test twice. The first test is extremely low. The next test is a cancellation, so it's like a transcript that you're starting to like set up. So it started off bad. It doesn't even look good, as far as the test is concerned. Like the test itself has been the hurdle. I'm nowhere near like applying to law school right now because the test itself is just the hurdle.
Wow, that's the beginning too.
That's just the beginning.
The beginning of the long journey.
Right.
Gotcha.
Right.
So I heard you mention your spirituality, and how does that play a role in? Of course, you said you're discouraged and you feel like that might be God's way of showing you something different or a different path. But if He was to bless this path that you're on and provide divine intervention, which could also mean a yes as well as a no. How do you feel about what God is telling you, or how do you feel about your connection as far as this specific situation?
So I'm asking and praying for clarity. Like I need it like right here in my face, clarity. Like, so what you want me to do? Yeah. And so if it is a yes, I vow that I would give it my all, because law school, for one, is not cheap. For two, law school is very hard. I have a best friend that actually is a lawyer, and so I've seen her journey firsthand of her being a teacher to eventually having to quit teaching and not have a job at all, just substituting here and there to focus solely on going to law school full time. And so I know that going to law school will take a lot of sacrifice, like personal time gone, like everything. And so for me, I vowed that like if I am blessed with the opportunity to be like, if I get in, if God allowed me to get into law school, I would do everything in my will to make sure that I'm devoted to law school. That's like, I'm even willing to quit my job if need be. I'm whatever it is that you need me to do, I'm going to do it. So that I can because I feel like this is my only chance, to get that opportunity, and I don't want to squander it. And a lot of people talk about first generational lawyers and stuff like that. For me, it's not even about being first generational lawyer. It's just about the need to feel like you need to help people within this system, and so I just vowed that I would give it my all, if blessed with the opportunity. If not, if God says no, I'm not gonna lie, again, I would be hurt, but that's not gonna unwaver my faith. I'm not gonna stop being faithful to God because he tells me no, because I do stuff every day that he doesn't like, but he doesn't stop being faithful to me. Right. And so I just have to accept God's will, and then know that really at the end of the day, it's not about me, it's about him and what he wants me to do. Right. And so if this is not what he wants me to do, if it's something else that he wants me to do, then he's going to lead me in that path. So again, I'm not gonna say it won't hurt, because it will. It's hurting right now, even just sitting here thinking about it, like, because it was something that I wanted to do. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's not about me, it's about him. And so if God has not designed that lane for me to walk through it, like, I know that I'm not going to walk through it, period. Like, he's not going to allow me to do something that was not meant for me to do. So either way, I'm okay. It's not like I'm unemployed, so I have a job, I have a career, and I'll just listen for God's word on how he wants me to proceed going into the next phase of my life.
And how do you feel about a no from God for this particular, how do you feel?
Hurt.
And what's the most hurtful part about God saying no to this specific journey?
Because it's something that I kept to myself for a really long time, a desire to do it, and then it would be like doing something I finally wanted to do, like, because for so long, even though I have like accomplished so much, I still don't perceive myself as being successful. So I feel like if I was able to get the law degree, if I was able to get into law school and become an attorney eventually, like, for me, that would equate to my success. And so, because it's a possible no, I'm hurt. And then it's kind of like, why am I being told no? Because I feel like, again, I do everything for everybody, and I try to be good to other people. I try to do what's right. Not saying I'm a saint, because I'm not, right, but I try my best to just be good to people. And why wouldn't God reward me with this? Why wouldn't he? So I feel like, dang, man, like, what did I do wrong? Why me? Like, it's some people who, like, 22, 23-year-olds can take this test and they don't have to worry about anything and get into law school and then drop out. And like, no, I don't have that luxury of doing that. And are not even appreciative of it, or know somebody, or their mom or their daddy is a lawyer, or, they got them in or something like that. And just like, for me, that would be just like the epitome of success for me.
Yeah, and rightfully so. I think we all have our own, hopes and dreams, and we hope that God's, mission is and purpose is in alignment with that.
Right.
So let's explore some other things. Tell me about some limitations, or just tell me about some patterns in the past in other goals that you tried to achieve. Is there a common denominator that you could think about that might have held you back from moving forward with achieving dreams that you wanted to achieve but you weren't able to? And was there anything that kind of just sticks out in your mind, like, I did that on this one, I did that on this one, I did that on this one?
Well, I'm not gonna say like correlate each goal to each other and what I didn't do, but one thing that I do have a trait that is not healthy and not conducive to anything, and that's procrastination. And then also too, sometimes just pure laziness. Like, I don't feel like doing it. So on my end, I know without a shadow of a doubt that I have not done all that I personally can do, even though I got a tutor and I went to these classes and all of that type of stuff. Like, at the end of the day, the test requires you to buckle down and study. That's it. Like, your study, like, the studying for the LSAT is like you picking up a part-time job.
Mm.
So it's that in depth. Like, so they tell you like on a daily basis, you need to be hitting at least 3 to 4 hours a day of just studying. And it needs to be consistent. It's a strategy of studying, and how do you study, and you know, things of that nature. And I did study, I have studied, but did I just go to the max where I know deep down inside that I did everything that I could do? I don't feel that. And so I know that procrastination is one of those things. Laziness is one of those things. And then also too, those are indicators to me of like, hey, how would I proceed on if I did become if I did get in law school. Like, you can't be procrastinating, you can't be lazy, like you have to be on it. Like, that's the job. So I do believe that those are one of my things that, you know, has hindered me, is my procrastination and my laziness.
Okay, great. Getting somewhere. So going back to your spirituality, when you said you hope that God is a yes, how do you feel if you actually push yourself all the way? You have 2 more opportunities left. How could you move forward? I know you're stagnant right now as far as in limbo about if you want to move forward, if you want to just go in a different direction, or just give it up altogether. So since you have 2 more opportunities to take the test, and you have 2 more opportunities to achieve your ultimate dream, your desire, one of the deepest desires of your heart, what could you do different to take action to make sure that you get one of these opportunities with the help of God? If He decides, hey, if you want to do the work, I got your back. You know, so so if God was to, you know, say yes, I got your back, but physically you still have to do the work, what do you feel like you could do different to help yourself get to your ultimate goal?
First off, change my mindset. Because right now I'm still like in that slump, you know, and I cannot try to conquer. It's like a battle right now, a battle within my mind. And so it's like David and Goliath. You can't, I can't go in not prepared. And so first off, it starts with me, and I'm cognizant of that. Like, it starts with me. If I'm going to do this, then all of the negativity, all of the negative thoughts, me being in a slump, like looking at, regardless of like, hey, I've taken a test 3 different times and it didn't work out. Hey, you still got 2 more opportunities that you can take the test. Hey, you really know a lot of this information. You just need to buckle down and study.
Build on it.
Right. Because honestly, I've been like messing with this test for like over 2 years of like curriculum, like I said, a tutor. I invested in it. I spent over $2,000 on a tutor. Just a lot of things. And hey, is this what I need to do? Like, let me just get to it. Like, because again, I've gotten letters of recommendations from people. I've networked with actually the assistant dean and some of the students at Thurgood.
Oh wow.
So like I've become like really hungry and persistent as far as everything, like meeting the people and stuff like that. It's just the studying. And so I know that I have to buckle down and study. And so when I study the test, like logical reasoning, which is a section of the test, like when you do those questions, when I make the answer, I feel like, man, I know that's a good answer right there. But then it'd be wrong. And in like all of the questions, you feel really confident about answering these questions, but it's the total opposite. And so basically what the ultimate goal of LSAT is to change your way of thinking.
Exactly.
We don't think like logically. It's not it's to change your way of thinking.
Basically, like the logical answer is not the logical answer.
Right.
Gotcha.
And so that's a thing. So I feel like it just starts with my mindset first. because if I go in a slump or like, I'm still gonna procrastinate. I'm still gonna be lazy. I'm still gonna think negative, and then that's gonna deter me from putting my best foot forward. So even at times when I would start to study, I would feel bad because when I'm studying, I'm getting everything wrong. So I would stop studying, and when I would stop studying, I feel bad because I need to be studying. But when I do study, I get everything wrong.
Right.
So it's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't type of thing. So I would say first, just my mindset, because the mindset is going to be the driving force for me on how I will be able to, continue to pursue the test.
Gotcha. Okay. So we've achieved some things here in this session. If you haven't noticed, I'm going to reflect a little bit.
Okay.
So first, let me encourage you now, because you are conscious now of what the issue is. That's not even an issue. You know that you have a desire, a dream, a goal, and you want to know if it's God's divine purpose for you to continue to pursue this goal. Also, you are also conscious of the fact that you do have some in traits that you can improve on, meaning your procrastination, your mindset, your mind frame, and your actual desire to put the effort forth to actually do what you need to do to achieve that goal. And then also you take responsibility. That's the next step, because you take responsibility of acknowledging that, yes, I do, I could have studied a little bit more, or yes, I could have, been a little bit more positive, or yes, I could have just took that extra time to figure out what the strategy is I need to have to pass this test.
Right.
And you also take the responsibility of knowing that if you do take it again, you know what you need to do to fix those, not even to fix, but just to improve the last experience. So I want to encourage you, the fact that you do know that it's still possible. That it's still possible. You still have 2 more opportunities. You're aware of some things that could change in a great way. Your procrastination, if you give yourself a little bit more time, you have more time to absorb more information, to process the information, instead of just kind of trying to rush through it and just kind of get it so you can get it. Because of course you're smart. I'm sure you're smart, because nobody that's not smart wouldn't even take on that hurdle.
Right.
But you do know that it's going to require a lot more of you, and you know what to expect now. And I can tell you that that's a positive thing from failure sometimes. You didn't get what you want, but you know what you don't want, and you know what you can't do, and you know what is not going to work.
Right.
But now with those experiences, if you change the perspective of it, you see what you can do, it's still possible. There's still an opportunity, and it's a matter of you doing what you said you're going to do, and that's take action. So moving forward, what can you do on this? If say, hey, you want to schedule your test again, what would you do different?
I would first come to the realization on deciding if I want to continue to move forward or not. So once that's been determined on if I do want to continue to move forward, I think that I would have to structure my time, my daily day in and out living, like how I get up in the morning and I come to work and I work from 8 to 5, and then I go home and I do this. Yes, you come to work and you work from 8 to 5, and then after 5 you go home and then you do 2 hours of studying, or 3 hours, and on the weekend you hit this. So actually incorporating that into my daily living, it's not something that I gotta do on the side. It's something that I need to do. Like when I get up and I take a shower in the morning, just like when I take a shower at night before I go to bed, I do those things because I have to do, because I'm supposed to. Typically you're supposed to, keep your hygiene up and stuff like that. So it's just things that we do in our everyday living that we become accustomed to, and we don't even realize that we do. It's the same way with the test. So I just have to incorporate it into my life. It's not something that I have to do. It is my life. It's a part of my life. And so once I start looking at that and tackling it that way, then I think I'll be better off. Another thing is not to schedule the test, because the tests come around annually with they give at least 10 tests a year. So I can hop on a test whenever I want to, but not even worry about the test right now, or the admission into law school or anything. I mean the test date or the admission into law school, but just focus on just taking your time with the material that you have, because I have tons of material. And you know, just refreshing myself, spending time with it, going over things, you know, and not being in a rush, because I feel like if I set a time, a specific date, hey, I'm gonna take the test in December. My head is racing till December. You know, I'm thinking about, but if I just simply feel like, you know what, I'm good. I done took a couple of practice tests, which I can do, and I'm making pretty good scores. Then I want to go ahead and schedule. I mean, you know, for the test or something like that. So I think again, it's in God's timing, but that's how I will approach it this time around.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. We're coming to the end of our session, but I would just like to kind of just put things into perspective one more time.
Okay.
Just so we can kind of get a clear understanding about what we've discussed and the possibilities of, you know, what you explained. So we are aware that you have had practice tests and you've done that, but what I want to amplify for sure is the fact that you said that this time around, instead of scheduling the test and worrying yourself and having anxiety and procrastinating because you know it's coming, you're taking a different strategy this time to allow yourself to prepare yourself and to actually study the material on your own time, in your own world, the way it is now, instead of having to alter everything first and then meeting that alteration to where you have to meet those standards that you set for yourself, instead of it being the other way around, to where you just prepare yourself and you take the test when you actually feel prepared, and then everything just moves forward because you know what to expect going forward.
Right.
So I think that's a great strategy, and I would like to encourage you to continue to do that, because even like you said, even if you don't schedule the test to create a invisible deadline for yourself, you're still doing the same thing. Even if you're not scheduling the test, like meaning I take the test today, I'm going to be a lawyer in a few years, but you still can have the same mindset with no date set.
Right.
And I would encourage you to do that, just because that's going to keep you on track. Even though you don't know if you're going to continue with this desire or not, you still know that there's a possibility that you still have opportunity there. And you also doing it in a way that works for you.
Right.
Compared to the old you, compared to you, you versus you.
Right.
So you now are going into this next opportunity, not the you before.
Right.
So that's always a positive if you can't look at it any other way. And God, I'm sure He supports that, because it's growth. Right. That's being aware that you could improve in some areas, and it gives you the motivation that it was you, it was me. It wasn't some existential circumstance where it's like, oh, of course things happen outside of your control,
right.
But at the same time, you deep down know you weren't ready. So therefore, it's kind of like there's not a no. It's not an official no yet. And even though you still don't know if you're going to continue on, you still know that there's a possibility, and you know there's a strategy that you have not tried that still can lead you to your dream.
Yeah.
And I hope that encourages you today. And I hope you continue to move on, because it's a great opportunity and it's a great career to have. And I'm sure you'll do great in the field as far as helping our world, because we're in a broken state all together. Yeah. And we all in it together. So they definitely need you. And if that's something that you want to pursue, I would definitely agree with your new strategies, just to take responsibility for those two obstacles that you mentioned, and then just like you said, just prepare yourself in the best way you can, and then when you feel ready, then judge your entire existence of this new journey off of when you're prepared. I think that'll work out better for you as far as just the experience overall. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. And how are you feeling now?
I feel okay. Still indifferent, but this conversation has given me a different perspective of how to look at it now that I'm sitting here and I'm processing it with you. Because honestly, some of the questions that you asked me, I've never even asked myself before. And so just how would I proceed about it? Like, what are some of the specific things that I could do? I never really thought in regards to this, so it just kind of gives me a little bit more clarification on if I want to if I do decide to continue to pursue some of the things that need to be done.
Mhm.
So yeah, it definitely gave me clarification.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, great. I'm happy that we were able to get to explore those things, and we're going to continue to explore more within our next session. So I just want you to sit with that and just think about some ways that you could improve, just your chances of getting that test done and getting it done. Because if somebody else can do it, you can do it. You're right about that. If somebody can do it, I can't say everybody can do it, but what I can say is it's a very good opportunity that you can try for sure. And I feel like you should just give it your best shot. And I don't think you should judge anything from the past based off of you not giving it your best, because it's not a true indicator of who you are. And I think you should judge yourself based off of mistakes and then move on from the mistakes and continue to grow and continue to be a better person and continue to chase after your dreams no matter what it is.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming in, and we'll see you next week.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.